Okay. Bonjour, everyone, and welcome to this episode of In Bed with the Fitness Industry. I'm Nathalie Lacombe, your coach and Cupid, and we've got a very exciting guest today, somebody who I've had the pleasure of working with a few times, and that I've wanted to have come on to share phenomenal insights and ideas and just the joy of doing what she does. And so, welcome, Dawn Bowman. Thank you
Thank
so much for
you
being
so
here.
much. So great to see you and to be here. My pleasure.
So, I mean, Dawn is here for something in particular that I wanted to share some insights on, but she is really a full-fledged person that does a gazillion things that are related in a way to health and fitness and wellness and everything that goes along the business of that. So, Dawn's based out of London, Ontario, and she is a lifestyle photographer in which she cultivates joy, laughter, and fun into all of her shoots. I've had the pleasure of benefiting from that a couple of times. She's also a paramedic. She's also a fitness leader and professional. She's also a wife and a mom and a bunch of different things. And so she'll share a lot of that. But I think the thing that I find the coolest and what we're hopefully going to get a chance to go in depth with today is really how you're able to bring this organic, elevated, and full of life feel to what you do in terms of your lifestyle and creativeness as a photographer, and to make sure that we always feel as good as we end up looking
Mhm.
is the best is the best way that I can describe. I'm glad I connected with you because that's the way that I would describe working with you. And I've recommended working with Dawn to so many leaders that I have the pleasure of working with. So let's start with the in bed stuff.
Yeah.
You are a casual in bed girl, yes?
Yes, I am. I like flannels and something comfy, old t-shirts. That's kind of my jam when I go to bed, and that's where I stick to oversized
Nice.
t-shirts and just comfy for me.
Nice. And you mentioned that you try and go to sleep around 10, wake up around 8, but you also work shifts. And so is that like your when you're not on night shift? Because you actually
Yeah.
are on nights now. So tell us how
Yeah.
that works for
So
you.
this morning I got done at 6 a.m. I climbed into bed till about 10 a.m. because I have a big day today of teaching fitness and getting caught up with you and doing some shoots and stuff. But days that I'm not working shifts, I typically try and my body tells me anyways, it's like
Mm,
10 o'clock, you need to go to bed 10:30. I'm not a real late night kind of person. I'm not a night hawk. I do like my sleep because when I'm working shifts and overnights, it's just absolute torture when it comes to be midnight and I'm like, I got to be up for another six hours. So
well, because
I
I
really
mean,
try
it's,
to get
yeah,
sleep.
especially what you just said is so you had a night shift and then you taught a couple of fitness classes today, and then you're working on some work related to some photo shoots you've done recently. So really, it's not like you're off shift and you're like sleeping.
No, no, and that
No.
rarely happens because I'm pretty well a full-time paramedic. I work a full-time shifts, so 2 days, 2 nights, four off, and in that four off, I shoot. So I'm basically a full-time paramedic and a full-time photographer, and somehow I'm trying to juggle that. So far, I feel good, and I like my sleep. And when I do sleep, I sleep well. So
Oh,
I try
good.
at 10 o'clock and not an early riser, just kind of 8 o'clock, ease into the day with that coffee and then get
Mm,
to all the stuff. I do not
nice.
work out past like noon is my workout time because
Mm,
I don't like to get up and go right into workouts because I like to ease into the day. So I've always kind of taught at lunchtime as well because of my shifts, right? I'm able to sleep a little bit before shifts, teach at
hmm,
12. So that's kind of my routine in the morning. Wake up if I'm not working around 8 and have that coffee and start
mm.
out for the day.
Well, let's let your sleep hygiene be an inspiration to us all who have something nowhere near as chaotic as what your schedule is,
Yeah.
as an opportunity to say you can still do it, even if it gets a little bit crazy with that.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sharing that with us. So, I mentioned earlier that I had the pleasure of working with you. And one of the things that I do in following you on social media and seeing the things that you mentioned, in particular on Instagram, and seeing how you have branded your own business. as well as how you, because you give lots of tips and tricks to everybody else. And I mean, if nothing else, just to see the couples and family and wedding shoots that you do, it makes me want to get married again. I wish I could afford it. It really makes me want to like, I'm like, if I could just do like a 15th or 20th anniversary wedding,
Yeah.
Dawn's coming to
Yeah.
Montreal.
Oh, 100%. I'm there.
Right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you talk a lot about how, or you communicate a lot how choosing the right image, and I use image in a greater
Mhm.
word, not just a photo, but an image for yourself and your brand is really critical to attracting the right clients in terms of your communication and marketing.
Yeah.
How can fitness and wellness professionals who are like, I need a new headshot, I need this, I need that, and I do 17 things for a living, so you're in a perfect place for that. How can we choose the right partners to help convey that image?
Yes, and you touched on exactly that. Trying to promote yourself as a professional and as clear as possible is so important.
Mm,
How does everybody see you nowadays? On a screen, right? They see you
mm,
on a screen, it's an image. So if you're not conveying a clear, professional, somewhat image, you might be getting skipped over by some people. Now, I'm not to
mm,
say that, and they're not taking away from your ability in anything. And I don't want people to get confused, like, well, if I just
mm,
get a good, picture of myself and post it, then I'm golden. Because there's a lot of back stuff to going along with that, right? As you know. But promoting yourself in a clear and professional way through an image and connecting yourself with the right photographer will, and I've seen this happen in my business, you'll start to climb that mountain. For some reason our brain kind of looks, and as we're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, our eyes catch something that's interesting to us, right? And if you're using a photo that's a selfie or not lit properly, or you're not, there's a whole bunch that goes into taking a photo, believe it or not, as you know, right? Because some people's like,
mm,
how do you get these great photos?
mm.
Try and I just can't get it. Well, it's taken years and years of practice of lighting and composition and trying to get that personality out of somebody, right? And that's
Mm,
what I
mm,
really try to do, is work with that person to pull that personality out of them, so that one, they first of all feel comfortable in front of a camera. Because as you know, and we've done lots of shoots together, I mean, we know each other now, but maybe the first time you're like, oh, this is so awkward, but
Where
then
do
I,
I put my hands?
yes, yeah, where did I put my hands? Pockets, there's a big tip, pocket. What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
And then, I have a personality, so I try to bring that natural laughter out, and we try to have fun,
Mm,
and I listen to what you're looking for, your niche and your image, and then we just have fun. I'm a genuine and candid, right? Lifestyle photographer means I want to catch you in the moment, catch you in that genuine, candid moment, so that it's not just a stiff picture of, you're like, this is awkward. I want to catch you in that laughter, that genuine laughter, because that typically is the money shots right there, right?
mm. It's interesting you mentioned that personality because I mean, as a photographer, you are phenomenal at making us feel comfortable and safe. A safe
Absolutely.
bit is there because I mean, comfort is one thing. Like I could be like, I'm kind of comfortable now. I'm safe because I'm in my bed, but you know what I mean? Like safe to be, because again, these are often done. These are, I mean, I've never had a studio shoot with you. It's always been oftentimes in the middle of a hotel
Yeah, yeah,
lobby or a restaurant, and yet feeling safe,
yeah.
right? You're not putting us in a compromising position by any stretch of the imagination. So how are you able to capture that, not just again, because for I mean for me, and you, we have that commonality of the joy thing, but for everybody else, the authentic personality
Yeah.
of what they want to convey. How do you do that? I mean, I feel like you're going to be like, well, there's a 27-page book, but like,
Yeah,
how are you able, like, what are the a couple of tips and
yeah.
tricks to help people let their authentic personality come through?
I think first and foremost, um, you show up with an idea in what you want as well.
Mm,
Secondly, you've got to be true to yourself, your brand, and not to copy somebody on Instagram who's got, 100,000 followers, that wears the perfect clothes, hair, makeup done. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not true.
love
Because I
that.
know a lot of people who convey that, but behind the scenes that's not it. So if you're trying to copy that person in style, in clothing and whatever, then you're not going to be comfortable, and I'm not going to get that true genuine look. Natalie, you showed up with like cute sneakers and jogging suit, but then we also did that. That's you, right?
Mm,
And then you already started feeling comfortable. If you're trying to squeeze into clothes that aren't comfortable, that don't fit properly, that's not your style, then you're already like, ugh, I'm not in my head, right?
mm,
So
mm,
communicating beforehand too with me about, you know, um, what you're looking for, your niche, and what you're trying to convey is going to pay dividends for your shoot. You're going to show up, you're going to have an idea. I do find that one that shoots I do where people are like, you know what, I have no idea what I want to put forward here. It's a little more difficult because I can still bring out your personality and stuff like that, but if you're not really sure what direction you want to go, I can't. It's tough to just pull that out too, right? So there's a little
mm,
bit of research that does go into your branding shoot, which you want. You want to invest in yourself. It's important.
mm,
It's
mm.
important to invest in yourself and your business, and by
And
doing
understand if yeah, and I think the idea of like it's not just a headshot. It's not like you need a
no,
headshot
and
and a body shot, which is
exactly,
what people will potentially think
yeah,
about, but it's really about, and it's funny, there are times because I still use a lot of the ones that you and I work together a couple of different times, depending on which hair color I'm
yeah,
take that time around. But I'll still use them, and they're ones that people will. And again, it's about, like you said, that money shot or those few of them, which
yeah,
are looking at the eyes, probably in a somebody passed, walked behind you, and I
yeah,
said hi to them, and they
yeah,
made me
and then
laugh. Like
yeah,
that's the one. And so some
yeah,
of it is yes, have the plan,
yeah,
understand what you need. I had a conversation with a client recently who was going to do new headshot, new body shot. And I said, make sure, because they also are doing more behind the scenes work now.
mhm,
So the concept of having the like working at a cafe or at a laptop or on a phone
yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that. I think a lot of people think fitness has to be, you know, Lululemon and sneakers
right,
in some pose.
mhm,
That's if you are doing that part of it, yes. But if you're also doing wellness consulting or also
yeah.
doing lifestyle coaching or things like that, then there's another part of what you represent
I
that
think a
can be
lot of people lose what, like, because a lot of people say, "Hey, do you do headshots?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do headshots. What do you mean, like white background headshot? Like that's it?"
passport photo.
Yeah, that's what I should say. So you want a
Yeah.
passport photo? I'm like, yeah, I do headshots, but I do more branding style, which is
Yeah.
this. Let exactly what you said. Let's get on a laptop. Let's get on your phone. Like how many different ways you writing in a journal, you sipping on a coffee, and promoting yourself that way,
Mm,
and
mm,
connecting with whatever you're trying to sell too, right? Because that's the whole point of this. What is the point of you investing in yourself? Is because you
mm,
want to grow your business and you want money to come back in. So you invest in, clean and professional photos and images, and then you use those images to promote your business. And I guarantee you will get that back. And so,
mm.
if you're like, how much do you charge for this and stuff? And you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm telling you, sometimes I had to bite the bullet too for website. I'm getting that done, and I'm like, this is worth it to me. This is worth my business because it will come back to me. And you
Yeah.
want to attract those clients. You want to attract clients that respect the fact that have that you invest in yourself. And
Yeah.
and and that
It
that that's the important thing right there.
For sure, it's interesting. And I think fitness and wellness professionals, people know what we do when we're, so the difference between in the business and working on the business. When we're
Mm,
in the business is there, but I think you do, there's a lot to your point, there's a lot of value in building trust by
mhm.
showing them how you also live working on the business, not just in the business.
Behind the
Uh,
scenes. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
working,
yeah,
creating program, like if you're doing program design, if you're working on choreography, if working on somebody's
yeah.
nutrition plan or those kinds of things, as opposed to just when you're with the clients. And that's another thing too, is putting the focus back on us versus the clients and their transformation photos and all these things, and all of a sudden it comes to you. But there's a big piece of that that builds trust, and so I know that that's something that you've done. One thing that I find, and again, so if you're in the London, Ontario area, or I know you spend a lot of time in Toronto and other
Yeah,
places,
I
you work
definitely
with John.
travel.
Yeah, that would be great for that. If you are in British Columbia using somebody
You
else,
fly me out there is yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah,
if it's a wedding anniversary like I'm doing now,
yeah,
but
yeah.
if you're looking at these kinds of things and trying to plan it, one of the things I've always found with you is the genuine moment, which I assume you have with everyone because you've always had it in the shoots that we work together, where you're like, oh yeah, that. And when I see your enthusiasm, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm doing it right, I'm doing it right. All of a sudden we're full on vibing, and then we get some really good things because
Absolutely.
you will check, and it's not like checking off a list.
Yeah.
It's feel from you from behind the lens is she's capturing what she knows we're trying to do right now, and
Right.
it's so genuine when you show that it's really encouraging
I
to
love it.
us
I love
prospects.
doing it. I do that with branding shoots and,
Mm,
professionals or whoever I'm shooting branding shots with. I do that with couples, and they can tell. They're like, that's a
mm,
lot of the feedback I get is, man, you're so passionate about this. And that's exactly why, because I love doing it. When I see something through the lens, I'm like, there it is. That's it. Like, exactly. You're like, oh, okay, this is good. This is fun. This isn't torture.
mm,
It shouldn't be torture. It should not, it should be fun to do a photo shoot. And if
mm.
you gotta research the right people, and that's the biggest thing that
Yes.
I try to do in my photography, whatever it is, man, this was a fun, especially, they drag out a couple shoot and it's mostly the guy that's not really digging the shoot, and the biggest compliment I would get afterwards is like, yeah, that was pretty good, that was easy, and that was a lot of fun. I'm like, all right, sweet, that's
Nice.
great. I get that too.
Fair.
And
That's
I get it. A lot of people, I was like this. If you're not in front of the camera often, and it's so awkward. It can be. You can feel like this is just so awkward. And then I crack some jokes, you ease
mm,
into it, and I said, by the end of this shoot, this
mm.
will be fun, and you'll be like, no, okay, that was good. Let's do another one. That's the hope.
Nice, nice. Hey, tell me, how would you going through that? How would you like give me three tips for health and fitness professionals looking to build their confidence on camera, whether it's photo or video? How would what would be those tips that you would share with us to build that confidence?
Number one, get in front of the camera as much as you can. So
Okay,
whether
just
that's
do it.
doing, right, getting videos and 30-second clips, say, hey, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, get on whatever social platform you have, and say, hey, just checking in. It's Tuesday, September. Hope everyone's doing well. I just want to say, hey, talk about your business for like 15 seconds, and then that's done. Do that more, right?
Mm,
Get in front of the camera, book shoots, even if they're mini sessions. I offer little mini sessions and that are quick, right? Because I do a lot of that too. You know, so 30, 20-minute, 30-minute quick branding session or whatever. So you're taking a little bit more photos, or even yourself, set yourself up on a tripod, snap a few photos, just get yourself out there. And then, like I said, be comfortable in what you are in so that
mm,
you feel comfortable to doing it. Be true to your style, be true to
mm.
your brand, and be true to your identity. Don't try to copy anybody, because the minute that you step outside that comfort zone, that you won't feel as comfortable. And I've seen it. I've seen people try to say, well, this is what I kind of want to do. Well, let's try to make your own way of it. Just not,
Right,
let's not try to copy this person, because it might not become that, right? If you're trying to copy. So get in
right.
front of the camera. If you hate
Okay.
it, you got to break through it, because it's gonna work. It's gonna help. Because I recently did a content creation retreat. This is pretty cool, in the Dominican
Oh.
Republic, with a whole team of people. And basically what it was is, we go to the resort for 4 days and we shoot content. I shot photos, they did video, and they talked, and they were taught how to do this stuff, and it was awesome. Plus they're in a tropical destination.
Bonus.
Right. So it was
Um,
great to just kind of break through. And all of those women were like, this was amazing. I really got out of my comfort zone. By the end of the week, they were like, yeah, I can do this now. I can do this.
nice,
You just need that
nice.
coaching too.
Hey, tell me on a more personal basis, on a personal note, how do you, I mean, we've talked about all your jobs. How do you fit exercise in there? Or is
Yeah,
it even a question?
it's not a question.
Hmm.
It's a lifestyle. I teach fitness Monday, Tuesday, Fridays, and Sundays. So I have my certain classes that I gotta get. And then my husband and I do CrossFit Wednesday, Thursdays, or whenever I'm not teaching. It's a lifestyle. That's it. It's in my brain. I'm gonna exercise. I'm not exercising 4 hours a day. I'm
Hmm.
exercising mostly like I talked about at noon, because whether I teach or I do a class, group fitness and classes is kind of seems to be where my thing is. I really enjoy teaching, and then I also like to participate. Um, and it's a lifestyle. And if you can get out of your head that it's work and it's so much preparing, I've got to move my body from where I am now to another location or whatever the case is, you can get yourself out of that mindset and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna just set aside my time. And maybe other things I don't put as high priority, right? Like
Hmm.
there's a few things, like my husband's like, can we get okay, if you can believe this, can we get pictures on the walls? Like, can we print some stuff and like hang some stuff up? If you're a mechanic, your car is always the worst shape, right? I have
Yeah,
zero pictures on my walls everywhere. I've been to Italy and all over the world and have these amazing photos, and zero is up on my wall. But
that's
that's the stuff
funny.
that kind of, house stuff or whatever. It kind of exercise and fitness, no, it is, that happens every day. I'm in the healthcare field. Movement is medicine. Even if you're not, doing a CrossFit class or whatever, get out, move your body, get some vitamin D, get some sunshine on your skin, open the
Mm.
curtains. You need that in your life. That's free. That's a free prescription right there. Movement is medicine.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Looking forward to the coming months with your very unique perspective on our industry. What inspires you? What are you seeing out there that really inspires you?
Oh, let me think about that. I'm always excited to see new stuff. As we saw each other not too long ago, we were at CanFit, and there's always very innovative stuff coming out in the fitness industry. Um, like I said, I'm obviously heavily connected with Les Mills because I teach body pump and group fitness, and they're always bringing new stuff out, um, new moves, new ways of exercising. Um, we were online for a little while. I'm not sure if that's still kind of continuing a little bit as well, but I absolutely love seeing humans in classes again.
Mm,
That brings energy, and not everyone's a group fitness lover, but I do find those that come will bring energy and just another level. I'm excited to see, yeah, just kind of keep pushing forward and challenging yourself. That's what I do as an athlete, as a fitness enthusiast. I try to challenge myself as much as I can. I get a lot of challenges in CrossFit because it's kind of out of my comfort zone. There's new moves, strength stuff that I kind of, body pump I've been doing for so long, and I do learn new things, but in that area it's just a little bit different. And continue to challenge yourself, continue to learn new things, because it 100% changes the shape of your body for sure.
mm.
And yeah, I'm just excited to see kind of where things go in the fitness industry, and how things will kind of evolve and where we're going to see. I'm not really sure, but I'm interested and look excited for it.
Nice. Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate your insights, and for sharing these ideas of things that I think a lot of people are a little bit scared of, or maybe they are used to doing quite regularly, and tips for finding the right provider, the right partner, asking the right questions, and doing the background work ahead of
Yeah.
time to get the most, just like we would with our clients. If our clients are
Yeah.
like, I don't know why I'm here, it'd be
Yeah.
hard as a trainer to figure out where to go from there. But if you do a little bit of that work, and start with the first one, it
Yeah.
just gets easier after that,
And
especially if
that's,
you're lucky enough to find someone like Don to work with.
yeah, and I say, like, there's a lot of photographers out there. This industry is very saturated, I find. Um, Branding, wedding, whatever kind of photographers. So I would say if you're trying to figure out who to go with or which way to go, it's hard because you go on social media, you scroll through their profile and stuff, and they're like, oh, those are nice photos, but how do you really know who the person behind the lens is? Word of
Mm,
mouth is a big one, obviously. And Natalie, you've really given me a lot of clients as well, just by word of mouth, and saying, oh, I've worked with Dawn, I really like her, and kind of goes like that. So if you know somebody who's gone through branding shoots, ask them who they used. Did you like them? What did you think? That's
mm.
always a good way, because you're kind of getting somebody that you already know. And use website, use their bio, and see if what they're conveying to you speaks to you,
Yeah.
if that's the kind of person you're going to work with.
Yeah, if it's a good fit, if it's a good
Mhm.
vibe.
Yeah.
It's to your point, there's a lot, so you could choose somebody you look forward to working with, not
Mhm.
just based on the result, but also based on the experience itself,
Yeah.
which is one of the things that I can absolutely attest and testimonial to when it comes
We laughed a
to
lot,
Dawn,
like a
which
lot of
we'd probably do once a month if she lived any closer, but once a
uh,
year is
I there was a lot of Natalie laughing, which is great. And I said, you have the best smile. And I told you that one time.
eh,
I said, you have such a
bless
great
your heart.
smile. And I
Thank you
love
so
I love
much.
your big energy too. So you're easy to shoot.
Oh, bless. Thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you for taking the time today. I maybe if you can stay in bed, please do. And I look forward to contacting you and connecting with you again soon. Anybody wants to find Dawn, we'll put everything in the profile and the notes and everything else so you guys can connect and see if she's got. Again, she shares a lot of this stuff in between beautiful photos that she shares. So feel
Yeah.
free to connect with her there.
Thank you so much. This was really fun. It was nice to be in bed for a little while too. Take a
Enjoy,
little.
get some rest.
Yeah.
Merci, mon ami. See you soon.
Thank you guys. Bye now.